Tom, we have a very special guest on Pack Your Knives today.
We sure do. Friend of the program. You know her as the NFL Live analyst and also just an all-around wonderful personality on TV and writer, magazine writer. She's our favorite guest every year when you come onto the show, Mina, for Top Chef analysis. Mina Kimes, welcome to the program. And also, we have a surprise for you. We are going to break the news on who is returning back to the competition. So first of all, welcome to Pack Your Knives. And it's so great to have you back on the show.
Hi, guys. It's great to be back. I'm a little nervous to find out who made it back because the contestant who was eliminated this week is one that I was pretty invested in.
Why were you invested in Sue so much?
I just found him likable and interesting. And I mean, I thought, seems like a great dude and was funny and self-deprecating, but I also thought he made interesting food. And it was also food that sort of resonated with my personal experience. Korean style corn dogs, something I know very well, being a Korean American. So I liked a lot of the things that he tried. I thought were, with mixed results, of course, but things that I would actually be interested in trying to eat. So I was really disappointed to see him go at the expense of white rice and guacamole. I'm not over it.
No, I'm with you. And actually, his Last Chance Kitchen run prior to his entry into the competition was my favorite LCK run of recent years, capped by his smoking Caesar salad. Like, I just absolutely love his food in the way, I think, perhaps in a different way you do. There aren't a lot of swashbucklers on this season. And what I mean that is just stuff that comes out so far out of left field that the element of surprise is almost, again, because we can't really taste the food, like that element of surprise, the get a load of thisness of any dish is kind of important to the competition. And I just don't feel like we've had a lot of that on this season. And again, that doesn't indict the quality of the food that's being served, but it was like Sue, when he got into the competition, is like the guy. I mean, Dan's doing a little bit of that with hey, funnel cake with the kitchen sink, but Sue really was kind of the mad scientist of the field, and I love that character in any season.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Danny seems to be the front runner, but I don't think he's made, and I like him a lot, I don't think he's made a single thing where I was like, well, for the most part, it seems like, very well cooked and technically refined food, but nothing is really I don't know if off the top of my head, I can even name a dish of his that really sticks out in my mind.
Yeah, well, I think also the Sue on origin story, I'm just intrigued by that, is he enters into the competition through Last Chance Kitchen in the back door and then rises all the way, gets to the end. And there's the whole wait, what happened to the first guy that got eliminated? And he's not part of Last Chance Kitchen. So I just wanted more Sue because we didn't get him initially. And the professional golfer background turned elite chef is just, I think it's a really cool story. And I was really upset to see him go, especially under the circumstances. And it sounds like you share my opinion, which is that was bullshit what happened at the end. And Manny, I love Manny, but come on, man. So you ready to find out Amanda, Laura, or Sue coming back to the competition?
Let's hear it.
It's Laura.
Okay. So I will say they kind of gave it away. I didn't look it up. But in the preview, they showed a woman's foot getting out of a car. And I kind of guessed it was Lara. I mean, I guess it could have been Amanda's.
Zapruder filmed it. I did. I'm going to be honest. I looked at it and I was like, they showed us way too much on that.
Yeah. Has the editing changed this season? I mean, that's a whole broader conversation. I guess we're here to have that conversation. But that was something that jumped out to me like, ooh, that feels sloppy.
See, I didn't catch the foot. What I reacted to and kind of knew it was her was the reaction of the rest of the contestants suggested it was somebody who was slightly surprising and someone who they were not overjoyed to see back, right? It was that combination where you knew if Amanda was coming back, they would be like, yay! There's that thing welcome home. And then I think Sue was quite popular, but there was an element of surprise combined with kind of neutrality on the person. And so I was like, okay, of those three people, this is a description. I will tell you, I share your disappointment in the sense that I tasted Sue's dish. I was at the fish boil. And I got to tell you, in this house, I'm going to be trying that fish sauce pineapple beurre blanc this week. It was one of the best things I tasted that day, having 3 different dishes, which means I had the sides, I had the fish. just didn't think his plate was that bad. I mean, the slaw was a little weird, but it wasn't like inedible. It was just maybe conceptually confusing, but like, who cares? I mean, fish boils in and of themselves it's a concession that it's just kind of bad food. I mean, even Tom is out there saying, oh yeah, the fish is bland, so you got to do this. But like, his sauce was like one of the best things I've tasted. And yeah, so I'm with you on white rice and guac as being an unacceptable accompaniment to an otherwise forgettable fish boil, and miso slaw is just not grounds for elimination.
And this maybe can lead us to kind of the discussion, I guess we're here to have about the season and the rule changes and all of that, which is, you can't introduce haphazardly NBA style this rule change where suddenly the quick fire matters a great deal, and then immediately save the chef who made the safe dish, who was the only one with the bad quick fire. Like, it completely undermined the rule change. And
100%.
It would have been one thing if Sue had like undercooked the protein. And I don't think I heard a single judge complain about the protein. That to me is like the one, okay, you know, you give them raw fish or whatever, you know, raw food, like it's, or overcooked or whatever, it's fine. But that's not what happened. So I had kind of just started to buy into the quickfire change because I was thinking about it at judging leading into it. I was thinking about it during the elimination part where I was like, oh, okay, well, at least, you know, Savannah's going to be fine because she did the quickfire, and Sue also was finished in the top, and whoever finishes, when they called them up, I was like, okay, whoever's in the bottom with them, or pardon me, when the cooks started coming out, is going to probably lose because these two finished in the top. And then it didn't happen, which again brings us back to this just feeling like total anarchy, and there's no like logic or, I don't know, defined set of rules governing this season.
Yeah, I had it in my notes. I was like, he was in the bottom of the quick fire. He's going home. Like, if this rule change is going to matter and have any import, and they introduced it for a reason, he is going home. And not only was he in the bottom four, Sue was in the top two.
In a field that only had two top twos. It wasn't even like he was one of three. He was one of two. The other person is standing up there with him. That's my issue, is like, I'm not a purist when it comes to sports and games. Like, I think if you can improve thing that was invented by humans, you should, right? Like, but I'm with you. If you're going to adopt it as a rule, enforce the rule. Is it, oh, it only matters if you win quickfire? Is it matters? Is it overall performance? Like, yeah, you know, and that I'm with you, Mina. Like, that was the issue, is if you're going to have a rule change, you've got to adhere to the rule change. It can't be selectively enforced. And I mean, that's kind of what drives me crazy about this, right? Like, you got three people up there. One of them totally bricked the quickfire despite having the best protein.
That also, yes, that should matter. It was the 1 seed versus the 6 seed. Yes. Come on. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm still so mad about this.
Yes, the guy's doing like bologna versus Angus ribeye, right? Like, well, does it matter or does it not? It kind of matters. It sometimes matters. It only matters if you have a bad miso slaw. Like, what is the standard? Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, again, I'm for rule changes. I'm also for them being enforced logically.
Oh yeah, that's okay. We don't have to keep going. It hurts. But Laura's back, and I want to, before we get to that, I want to say we were campaigning for Mina to be the host of this year's Top Chef, the new Top Chef, to fill in Padma Lakshmi. And it didn't happen, but we did get Kristen Kish. And I just wanted to get your response, Mina. How far along were you a finalist for Top Chef this year? And what did you say to Kristen when you said, you could have this? I don't need to be the host. You can have this, Kristen.
Obviously not a finalist. And I think she's been the bright spot of the season, to be honest. I think she's been excellent. I think she brings a credibility with all of her commentary that it has been really important. And it's funny because that was what seemed on paper to be the most dramatic change coming into the season. And I think I don't have my finger on the pulse of Top Chef Nation, but everyone I know seems to agree with me that she's doing a hell of a job. And that's the one change that nobody seems to be bothered by, unless I'm wrong. Maybe people are listening to me and saying, no, Padma's being, sorely missed. I don't feel that way. I think Kristen's doing a very good job. I think the one thing I thought, I knew she would have credibility, obviously being a very good chef and a winner, but I hadn't seen her on TV. I didn't know if she would be unnatural or uncomfortable or whatnot. I think she comes across as very natural and genuine. I think the other judges clearly respect her opinion. I like the way she relates to the contestants. So that's been the win for me this season, is I think that transition, that succession plan, which seemed to be a pretty high risk maneuver, has maybe been the one change that has paid off for them.
You know, it's interesting. Stage presence is such an ineffable thing in television, right? Like, yeah. And I mean, obviously Padma had it like just to an extreme degree. I'm with you. I really love, I mean, first of all, I like, you know, and Joe Flan made this comparison and used this metaphor when he was on, we were talking about Kristen, and it's like, the former player who is now a coach, the sheer expertise and authority that goes with that, I didn't know how it would manifest itself, but I think it's done really good. Like, I've really thoroughly enjoyed the conversations. I mean, because like, I was trying to kind of distill the show down, and I think that like my generally favorite moments in the show are actually the judges talking about the food absent the presence of the contestants. Like when they're really unfiltered and they're really kind of offering the impressions. Again, we can't taste the food. It's not Project Runway where we can like kind of look at these things with our eyes. And I just think that she leads that conversation exceptionally well. But I would also allow for the fact that like it is, look, there's also comfort and familiarity, and Padma was doing it. I mean, it's amazing to think about how long this show has been on the air. But you know, stage presence is kind of a funny thing. I think she kind of has it. Also, she's much taller than I ever imagined. When I saw her in Milwaukee, like it was like, yeah, Kristen's really tall. But yeah, I'm kind of enjoying the experience, and I'm enjoying it the way you get like a really knowledgeable analyst in a studio show or any kind of panel.
Yeah, I get the sense that, because I remember when Joe mentioned it, he was like, and all the haters out there, I just feel like are giving her not getting a fair chance. And I was like, wait, there are haters on Kristen Kish?
They're haters?
And he was like, oh, dude, like people on Instagram are vicious. They're people on online or Reddit, whatever is on vicious. And I'm like, is this like a Twitter bubble thing where it's like the people on Twitter are not representative of like the, you know, millions of people that watch this show? And he was like, oh yeah, there's like this undercurrent of people who are not happy with Kristen. I was like, I kind of feel like that's just people online who are just angry.
Yeah.
They're just people online that are just predisposed to complain about things, because I think she's done a really nice job. And by the way, this is replacing like Michael Jordan. You know, this isn't just like a change. This is someone who they're replacing is also up there with. I mean, you can't expect them to fill those shoes completely, and it's good that she's different.
If I had to venture to guess, other than general people just like being negative on the internet, why there might be any negativity, it's probably that she's just being dragged down by the season, right? Like, you know, this is, I don't know, if JJ Redick, she's kind of the JJ Redick of Top Chef right now, were to go coach a declining Lakers team, and suddenly people are blaming JJ Redick maybe, but really the reality is they couldn't have done anything with their cast base. I think she has the misfortune of stepping into some pretty, I don't think, like, I'm actually not as hard on the season as others. I have quibbles with it, mostly with the rules stuff. And I think, yeah, I do think that the caliber of chef is decent, and I think we're seeing that right now. But it is undeniably a pretty flawed season, and I feel like she's probably getting some shrapnel from that. That's not her fault.
Thanks for listening. If you're enjoying this episode of Pack Your Knives and would like to listen to the rest of it, please become a paid subscriber.
Just go to packyourknives.com and sign up for an annual subscription. That's packyourknives.com.